This is TQQQ on the 5-minute time frame. Here are your price targets for Wednesday. We ended the day at $55.30, up 2.31%. This is where we are. To the north side takes us to the middle of the trend and resistance, and we could potentially chop sideways, and that would be at $55.57. Another level of resistance and a potential take profit area, 56.44. 4 standard deviations takes us to 56.88, and at 4 standard deviations, it's $57.35. To the south side, one level of support and a potential buy-in area, 54.65, 54.20, and another potential buy-in area, as well as another potential stop loss area, 53.72. Now, looking left, you can see there is a gap right here that needs to be filled. And I will mark that out. Change that to red. That takes us down to 54.07 for the pullback. It starts at roughly 54.53. That gap has closed out, and then we have this gap also to deal with. And that will take us down to 52.27. Actually, I'll just mark this out while I'm here. We are in an upward channel on the 5, so keep that in mind. But obviously, you're going to get different buy and sell signals on different time frames. And there's another trap right here. There was a stock split on November the 20th, so it's been a while since I've looked at this. Whenever we reverse course, we could fill to the downside at 47.59. So if you like to go short and play it to the opposite of what we're seeing right now, so we're in an upward channel going up, and then eventually we'll curve right back down, but who knows when that will happen. You just have to read the charts. Let's take this to the daily and show you what is happening. Oops, there we go. So I have been tracking this. This is from 23. This is from 23, September 23. All right. Yeah, ignore all my lines. Obviously, it's old, and I just keep it there just to see when I look back where we've been. So we are at 55.30. That's right here. So the range on the daily to the north side, 62.37, and back at the middle of the trend would be roughly 48.41, and then again this gap. And then we have other gaps on the daily. Oh, where's my thing? Oh, there it is. So watch out for this one. This is way down the road. We may never close it out, but then again we could. Just like SOXL, SQQQ. I mean, you think, oh, we're tugging along, things are looking good, and then boom, the rug gets pulled. Set your stop loss. And that's what these lines do help you do. Set your stop loss, take your profit, hold core positions. Everything else I trade. All right, here's the daily. Let's just look at the RSI. I don't want to do price targets. What does the chart tell us? So we've got room to go to the upside. Look, anytime we hit this area, this critical point, there's always a pullback, always an opportunity to get back in. All right, and we're going to turn it up. All right, that is, oh look, this was 80, oh, because of the stock split. Okay, let's go back to the 5. Option R to reset. Now I want to look at a ticker at the bottom of the leaderboard, Pacific Gas and Electric. It's been a while since I've talked about this one too. I tracked 234 tickers within Vanguard's total stock market. One day I'll expand that list to 500, but I don't have time to sit there and add it all back in because I do it manually. Let's change that. All right, this is the 5-minute time frame. We're down 3.28%. There's an article here why it says the stock deserves a spot. Does it? Well, here's why this stock deserves a spot in your portfolio. But when you look at that, the 52-week low is $12.97. While we're close, I want to see more of a pullback before I buy in. All right, to the north side, middle of the trend. I like to mark that out. Give myself a target here of 1561 resistance. We could also chop sideways or go down. So 2 standard deviations, 1594. There's no way we're going to get here or here. There has to be a miracle. And if that miracle happens because of a wick, because of some news, you know it's going to get sold off. And then we're very close to this area, 1528. That is support. We could bounce. If we go one leg down, 1511 and 1494. And we're still in a downward channel. This thing is turning down as well. And what else is happening? Where did we go wrong here? So we're just kind of grinding sideways. I have to take this to a different time frame. It's really slow, choppy. Okay. So if you draw a trend line right here, oops, that could take us down to 1439. Don't really see any big gaps. Let's take this on the daily, to the daily. All right, look at this. I tracked this when it was 20. Oh no, that's a gap that needs to be filled. Well, that's good. Okay, this gap clearly closed. And again, I have not looked at this in so long. What goes up must come down. What goes down doesn't necessarily go back up again, but sometimes you got to get down to get back up. Delete, that's no longer in play. This is, so that's good, but that's down the road, and we've got this tiny little gap to the upside. That'll take us to 1739. Why do I, oh, that's a gap that closed, and I marked that out on a different time frame. I usually mark these gaps on the 5, and I never went back to clean it up. So now I'm marking it on the daily, and it's not going to jive with the 5. Oh, what I want to do is this. Okay. That's done. That took us down to 1596. What else? And on the daily, we are going down, so still bleeding out. So we could hit this area of 1411. I shouldn't even mark out 3 and 4 standard deviations because the likelihood of it hitting isn't that great because the calculations are constantly changing. So typically price will stay within that 2 and -2. But looking left, I tracked this in my gap and go trades, which all closed out. All right. And let's just look at RSI only on the weekly. What does it tell us? Still going down. And on the monthly, still going down. And the 1-year price target, however, in the big picture, 21.36, a 39% return. Very nice. And then after that, so we've got 18, 21.36, and 25. And one other one I want to go over very quickly, which is my gap and go trades that I do over the weekend. And I've tracked the #1 ticker, Boeing, for weeks and weeks, but because we ran 10% today, I want to quickly look at this. I know this looks like a hot mess. It'll turn you off, but just ignore the lines. I'm going to give you price targets. So I track this week to week. Here's Monday to Friday. We're in an upward channel. This is still going up. So we ran up. Boeing stock surged 10% after CFO Jay Malave projected higher 737 and 787 jet deliveries in 2026, with over $1 billion in cash flow expected despite upcoming expenses. Well, they also settled that massive lawsuit. Yeah, where the guy committed suicide. Yeah, not. Anyway, 205.47 to the north side for Wednesday. 209.51. Don't hold your breath for this level. 213.17, that'll be down the road. And then also down the road, we're looking at 216.98. And the middle of the trend, 201.99, that's support. 194.56. 190.72 and 186.87. So we still have this gap to deal with. This gap touched right here on the good news on Tuesday. That took us to 191.73, which was an expected move right here. I'll clean that up later. Note the bounce off of this line that I marked out that has turned into support. So the next target, as I mentioned, so we also closed out this one, so yay. And that was an expected move that I talked about, 204.51. And we ended at 205, well, not ended, the high, 205. Now the next target is going to be this one at 213. Okay, and then after that we have some other ones. But one thing at a time. And this gap here could... yeah, it could touch on Wednesday, but after running 10%, I don't expect it to. I expect sideways consolidation and then a potential leg up. But people are excited because of this, but that will fade. All right, and the 1 year, let's just really quickly, because I don't get to do this on my gap and go trades because I move through 5 of them quickly. Yeah, look at this. I've tracked it for, I don't know. Let's mark this out. When did I start? In February of 2024. So it's, for the gap and go trades, but I've been marking this out for years now. And I bought this for my mom at $125.45. Okay. So we're turning up on the daily, and we're at 205 right here in this green, 205. So to the north side, that will take us back to an area we've been, 227.09. And then, let's see, 205 is right here. To the south side, the red line will take us to roughly 193.58-ish for the pullback. Okay, now let's take a look at the RSI on the weekly. Oops. Okay, we are, is that turning up? Escape, oops. It won't grab, gosh. Oops. Yeah, it won't. It's still turning up. And we've got tons of room to move before we get frothy. And on the monthly, we're also looking good. All right, the 1-year price target, 248.24, which represents a 20% return from where we are. And that is a look at Tqqq, PCG, and Boeing. Have a great trading day.